Barack Obama was born in 1961, at the start of a decade that marked a turning point for civil rights in the United States. At that time, the United States remained a segregated country. Prejudice against African Americans was widespread. In some states, black people could not use certain hotels and restaurants, and black children had to attend separate schools. Black adults were not allowed to hold many professional jobs. Even public toilets and drinking fountains were segregated. Many people of all races took part in protests and demanded change. They wanted African Americans to be treated fairly. This campaign for social justice and equal rights for African Americans was called the Civil Rights Movement. In the middle of this turmoil, Barack Hussein Obama made his first appearance into the world on August 4th in Honolulu, Hawaii. Barack's parents, Barack Obama Sr. and Ann Dunham, met at the University of Hawaii while taking a Russian language course. Their romance was a little unusual for the time. With widespread racism and laws upholding segregation, it was uncommon to see a black man and a white woman holding hands. Segregation. Segregation is the act of separating people into different groups for the purpose of treating them differently. In the case of racial segregation, this unfair separation is based on skin color. Ann's parents, however, were open-minded enough to accept Barack Sr. into their home and their family. The idea that Barack Sr. and Ann could then marry was also not something to take for granted. Interracial marriage was forbidden in many states, but luckily Hawaii was not one of them. When baby Barack, or Barry as he was called, was 2, his father received an offer for graduate work at Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. This was exciting news for Barack Sr., who was eager to continue his education. However, the offer only provided enough money for him to make the trip by himself. Anne agreed to the move, even though she was worried about the idea of their being so far apart. In many parts of the South, my father could have been strung up from a tree for merely looking at my mother the wrong way. Barack Obama. So Anne and Barry stayed in Honolulu with her parents, but as she had predicted, the 8,000-kilometer or 5,000-mile distance made things difficult. 2 years after Barack Sr. moved to Cambridge, the couple broke up and decided to get a divorce. Young Barry was not too negatively affected by the split, though, and continued to have a happy childhood. His mother and grandmother took care of him, and he spent his days playing outside in the park or going to the beach. Years later, Barack described how he could still retrace the first steps I took as a child and be stunned by the beauty of the islands, the trembling blue plain of the Pacific, the moss-covered cliffs, the North Shore's thunderous waves crumbling as if in a slow-motion reel, the shadows off Polly's peaks, the sultry, scented air. Before long, Barry was introduced to a new man in his mother's life. This was Lolo Sotero, a visiting student from Indonesia. Barry enjoyed spending time with Lolo. When his mother told him that she and Lolo were going to get married, Barry didn't mind at all. And in 1966, when Lolo learned that he had to return home, Anne made plans for her and Barry to follow him.